What's up, guys? Welcome into another episode of Barbers United Fantasy Football League podcast. I'm back. Dalton's back. And Dalton, you're coming off a win. I'm coming off a loss, man. This was sad, dude.
It's a weird week.
Second most points in the league, dog.
Yeah, that's tough.
And a loss, bro. And a loss.
That is tough.
Me and Blake had a shootout. And it really was not my fault. I don't blame myself. I blame you, Dalton. This is your fault.
This is my fault.
This is the logo sitting on the square in the middle of your chest right now.
That one? That one right there?
That one right there. This is Taylor Swift's fault. This is all you guys, dude. All you guys.
That's really whose fault it is. Blame Taylor
Swift, Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce, and specifically Patrick Mahomes, dude. Didn't throw a touchdown pass, loses for the first time to the Denver Broncos. What the heck happened in that game, Dalton?
Well, okay, so you know the saying that the blind squirrel finds a nut every 8 years?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what happened. So,
dude, they sucked, bro.
Yeah, they looked real bad. Now, Mahomes had the flu. Taylor Swift wasn't at the game. Like, it was on the road in Denver. The guys were getting altitude sickness. Like, just... It's not an excuse. They got to win those games.
This is what I traded for him for, to not have these weeks. If he had 15 points, I would have won. But he had 6.
This is a one-off kind of thing for him.
I sure hope so.
This is a one-off kind of thing. I wish they would have made something happen at the deadline. Something. Anything happen at the deadline.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll end up in the Super Bowl. But for 1 week, I get to be mad at them. So
fingers
that's
crossed.
all that matters.
Yeah.
Let's jump into this recap, dude. Let's talk about everybody else. You want to walk through these matchups?
All right. Recapping week 8, we had the Daltonius Daddies beating Big Dub Shuts 96-80. We had Braden, the Catalina Wine Mixin, beating Team JM Landrum 149-127. Team MJ Burley losing to Team J Money 94-110. The Cooper Scoopers beating Team T Shet 136-116. Jonas Only Fades losing to CD's TDs 163-171 in true shootout fashion. And for our game of the week, we had Marcos Trap Daddy Thatcher losing to Lucas, the Book of Mormoms 148-150.
Talk about a game of the week, dude. We had a playoff preview this week with me and Blake and Marcos and Lucas, and they did not disappoint.
No,
Marcos and Lucas, 2 points, man. And I don't know, did you follow this at all?
I followed it a little bit. Like the big thing that I noticed whenever I was looking through it was like, dude, if Aaron Jones has just a little bit better of a game, like gets just a couple more touches on the ball, Marcos wins. Honestly, if he gets one more touch, Marcos probably wins.
Yes. So Aaron Jones definitely could have been better. However, this came down to the Chargers, your favorite team in the NFL. Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen. Marcos needed 51 points going into Sunday night. Lucas was completely done. It was just Marcos's 2 guys, his quarterback, his wide receiver. 51 points. I thought it was a done deal, dude. I thought for sure Marcos was going to win this game. I mean, Keenan Allen's been killing it. They're going up against a terrible Bears team, and I thought for sure this was Marcos' to win. And Justin Herbert came out on fire. The first drive, he hit Keenan Allen for 3 or 4 passes, and then literally just stopped throwing him the ball. Which, granted, they got up by a lot. They didn't have to throw a ton. They could run the ball, but anybody was open, and he was just throwing to everybody. Quentin Johnson was getting catches. Josh Palmer was getting catches. Their tight ends were scoring touchdowns. Austin Eckler took a 60-yard catch to the house. Everybody was feasting, and so Keenan Allen just wasn't getting the touches, and more importantly, didn't get the touchdown. And Marcos falls short by 2 points. 2 points.
That's brutal, man.
Got a visitor. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, this is my dog Chico. He's hanging out with us today. I think he sees a squirrel outside, so he wants to jump out the windows.
That already heard me talking bad about the Chiefs.
That,
gets defensive.
He does get defensive about the Chiefs, especially when it comes to Taylor Swift. He's a big Swiftie.
Let's talk about your matchup, dude. You played Shuts. You got a much needed win, 4-4, right on the outside of the playoffs.
Dude, I should not have won this matchup against Shuts. Chuba Hubbard, who is my running back too, didn't look great. Ezekiel Elliott, I forgot even played, and I meant to switch him. This is one of those oh man, I really meant to move him off of there for Jeff Wilson. Not that it would have made a crazy difference, but it would have made a difference.
Yep.
And so it's one of those that anytime I open the app, once I realize oh crap, I forgot to make that switch, I just got mad because I would see Zeke down there with 1 point the whole game, and I'm like, you Gotta be kidding me, man. The bigger thing for me wasn't even my team. It was Schutz's team. My team did what they've kind of done the last few weeks that I've had this lineup of guys. Schutz's team had an opportunity to win going into Monday night. Devontae Adams needing to get, I want to say it was like 16 points or 18 points, something like that. He needed a good day, but not a crazy day. You know what I mean? He needed just a good day. And he finished with 2 points.
Did you see that their head coach got fired?
I did. And the GM.
And GM, dude.
I don't know when.
About how dumb, real quick, the NFL trade deadline is? Because why is it so early? Like, there's no need for it to be over right now. There are so many players, skilled players on terrible teams that no longer can be moved. Like Devontae Adams. Like Devontae Adams should be getting traded from the Las Vegas Raiders and going to like the Kansas City Chiefs or something. You know what I mean?
I would
like,
love that.
That's what I'm saying though. Like even if it's not the Chiefs, he should be I want to see him on a good offense. Now he's stuck. He's just stuck there for the rest of the year while they go through a new head coach, new GM, who knows they're going to do with Jimmy Garoppolo. Like waste it. Like Washington. I'm the biggest Washington guy out here. I stand Terry McLaurin. Everyone knows that. Terry McLaurin's stuck there now. And they literally just traded 2 of their best defensive players. What do they do? Like they're obviously in tank rebuild mode. Ron Rivera is going to get fired, and Terry McLaurin is just stuck on that offense now. Like there's so many players right now that are stuck on these teams because the deadline is over, gone, and now they're just going to have to deal with it for the rest of the year. They're not on contending teams. You know,
not every superstar can get on a contending team every single year, right? But whenever you're obviously in rebuild mode, like Vegas, I almost wonder if that's part of the reason why McDaniels and their GM, who I don't know his name, got fired, is because they didn't make any deadline moves for any kind of draft capital or anything, you know, because they're obviously not in a win now position, right? Same kind of thing like with Washington. But with Washington, I think that's what's worse is because, like you said, they got rid of like Chase Young. They got rid of, what's the other kid's name they got rid of?
Montez Sweat.
They're obviously trying to make moves for the future, but not really. You know, like it's one of those like where we're going to get rid of a couple just for, you know, a couple draft picks here and there, but we're not actually going all in on rebuilding for the future. And so it's confusing. Obviously, I'm not an NFL GM, but it doesn't make any sense to me. It also doesn't make any sense to me how the Chiefs think that we're going to be fine with Kadarius Toney as wide receiver 1.
But you got McCole Hardman, dude.
We did get McCole Hardman. I'm not mad at McCole Hardman. He's all right.
McCole Hardman.
Yeah, we know we can win with McCole Hardman, but yeah, we should have gone after Devontae Adams. I wholeheartedly
DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin. There's a lot of them out there, dude.
We had our opportunity to go for D-Hop. We had our opportunity to go for D-Hop in free agency, and I don't think we pursued him at all. From like things that I've read and stuff like that, I think it was a very like touch and go kind of, you want to come to Kansas City? If not, it's cool.
This is us as fantasy managers, though. Obviously, real NFL managers don't care at all. They don't want to just get rid of good players for nothing. But as fantasy managers who care about these guys' actual performance and wanting to play, like I just can't see Devontae Adams being excited to play in many more games this season. You know what I mean? And so like that's a herder for your fantasy team. Like he's not out there. I'm not going to say he's not giving it 100%, but if they're not competing and they've got a terrible franchise, I mean, yeah. I mean, would you do you go into work every day happy and excited if you have if your boss and everyone just got fired, cleared house, and you're like, we're a terrible company, like we're going down, we're going to be bankrupt in a couple of years? Like I wouldn't be excited to go into work, you know?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be thrilled about that.
Especially at his age. He's got what, maybe 3-5 years left?
He's got 3 to 5 left of actual.
Yeah, a prime, you know what I mean? Like, and this is just a year gone, you know, after they traded his best friend to Derek Carr. Like, it's just, but yeah, so Devontae Adams definitely let Schuts down. I mean, him on a normal week wins him that match. Listen, if I'm Schuts, I'm just happy to see what the Bengals did. Joe Burrow looks like Joe Burrow of old. They look incredible.
Yeah, they look nice.
Yeah, they look like they're ready to go on a tear. So I'd be happy that you finally have a starting quarterback and you have to go back and forth between Burrow and Fields with both of them playing absolutely terrible. So
speaking of quarterback, dude, you saw Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, dude. Sad.
That hurts.
Hurts Braden. He went and dropped, which we'll talk about in a minute. He went and dropped a lot of money on some quarterbacks this morning. Any other matchups? Obviously, Braden gets a matchup. We can do superlatives. You want to do biggest win? Biggest win real quick?
Yeah, biggest win, I think, has to be Braden, the Catalina wine mixin. I want to say this brings him to 2-6. if I'm reading that right. Like second win on the season. That's got to just be a good feeling for him. But also like his whole team balled. D-Hop got 35 points, just about 35 points. Gabe Davis got just about 24 points. I'm happy to see that his whole team balled out.
I think it's Blake, dude. Blake put on a show, dude. I mean, when you go out and you stomp on me, which, I mean, 8 points, I guess not stomping, but he dropped 171.
Yeah, that's
and this is when you want to see your team do it, though, right? Like, how frustrating is it when your team drops 160 points, but you went up against someone that had 110? And then you lose a week that someone has 120 because you only had 115. Like, you want to have the big weeks when you need the big weeks, and he needed every bit of this. And his team came through, put up 171. I mean, it's hard not to say, obviously, Lucas has the best record and Lucas is number one, but it's hard not to say Blake has the best team.
Are we going to see?
What is he, 5? Is he 5 wins in a row? Yeah, which Lucas is 6 wins in a row. So they're right there. I didn't want to bring this up, but I guess since you've made me bring it up, I do have the most points scored in the league. I might not be number one, but I have the most points scored for whatever that, whatever that
just
means.
Like league in total for the season thus far?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Most points scored. So, I mean, some would say that makes me the best team, but I'm not going to say that. But, I mean, it's hard to argue that Blake is not the best team. I mean, he's doing really good right now. He's on fire, and he did it in a week that mattered. Lucas, you could say the same for him, though. I mean, he needed all of his points. He got them. Close win, eked it out, stays number one. Big win for him as well.
And so I was looking forward in the schedule before we touch on Biggest Loser. Blake will play Lucas in week 13.
That'll be one to watch.
So we've got a little bit till we get there, but that's gonna be a good one by then. Our biggest loser, I think I'm gonna go with Schutz because of the Devontae Adams situation, because of how he could have won the game if you started the right people right. Like, weirdly enough, he would have gotten more quarterback points not starting Joe Burrow. Yeah, he would have gotten more points if he would have started Sam Howell.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. Like Ferguson from the Cowboys got 14, almost 15 points. Bateman got 7. There's a recipe in here that I feel like he could have won this game.
Spin zone from my argument from before about the Commanders. Maybe this is better for Terry McLaurin because now the Commanders' defense is going to be so bad, they're going to just give up points all day long, and the Commanders are just going to have to throw 24/7. Spin zone.
It could work. It could work.
Dude, biggest loser. I don't know if we can give him this award. There probably should be an award at the end of the year for who got the most of each award, and the most awarded biggest loser on the show goes to MJ Burley, Mark. Every time he gets a win and he starts talking like he's going to start a win streak, this is the beginning. And he was primed for it because he faced John, who was at the bottom with him, and then he faces Braden, who was at the bottom, and totally flops, loses. Team J Money takes down Mark Burley. His win streak ends. His Falcons get embarrassed. Desmond Ridder gets benched. Biggest loser this week has to be Mark Burley.
Hey, J Money's on back-to-back wins. J Money's on back-to-back wins. He beat me last week. He beat Mark this week. He's got a good team, and we said for weeks and weeks there that it just took him getting a good matchup. Just the ball rolled his way one time is what it felt like it took. But and it looks like he's starting to get it. So I would say be on the lookout for him to keep winning.
I will say this: looking at the points scored, dude. This might throw you under the bus a little bit, but
I'm down there.
John, Mark, and Braden, the three that have pretty consistently been at the bottom all year, all have scored more points than Schutz, Jake, you, Peyton, and a couple of them, no, all of them have scored more points than Ty. Actually, Braden is 0.2 points less than Ty. So they're at the bottom, but they have scored a lot of points. They're all in the top. Almost all in the top half.
Now, to be fair, Mark's might be a little skewed because he had that one crazy week where he had 170 something.
Yep.
To be fair, not to throw Mark under the bus, but
true.
Yeah. No, I know my team. My team has not been scoring heavy. I had one really good week, and then JJ got hurt, and I've been trying to put the pieces back together ever since. But
now you get JJ and Dobbs.
And
how you feeling?
Yeah, so I made a move this morning. I dropped Josh Dobbs for Bryce Young because of the fact that Brock Purdy's on a bye.
Because you like Alabama better than Tennessee?
Yeah, that's why. We'll go with that.
Makes sense.
We'll go with that. But also, Dobbs isn't starting this week in Minnesota, and I need a quarterback. So it's like, I got to do something. Taking a look at our updated standings at the end of week 8, we have number 1, Lucas, the Book of Mormoms. Number 2, Blake, CDs, TDs. Number 3, we've got Jonas, Only Fades. Number 4, Marcos, Trap Daddy Thatcher. Number 5 is Team T Shet. Number 6, the Cooper Scoopers. Number 7, the Daltonius Daddies. Number 8, Team J Money. Number 9, Team JM Landrum. Number 10, Big Dub Shuts. Number 11, Team MJ Burley. And number 12, Braden, the Catalina Wine Mixin.
Let's run through week 9, dude. Let's move on. New week.
Week 9, we have the Daltonius Daddies taking on Marcos, Trap Daddy Thatcher. Team JM Landrum taking on Team J Money. Big Dub Shuts taking on Lucas, the Book of Mormoms. Only Fades, Jonas taking on Team T Shet. And the Cooper Scoopers taking on CDs, TDs. And for our game of the week, we have the number 11 versus number 12, MJ Burley versus Catalina Wine Mixin.
Welcome to the toilet bowl, boys. Welcome to the toilet bowl. We just changed game of the week to the worst teams in the league, or what?
I feel like this one means quite a bit. The other option I felt like was maybe JM Landrum versus J Money, because it's 3-5 versus 3-5, might have some playoff implications. But this one, I feel like whoever loses this game of the week, their season is over.
Over. That's what you're giving it. Officially over.
Officially over. I think you lose this one, you're technically not eliminated from playoff contention, I don't believe. But if you lose this one, I think your season's probably wraps. I think
Fair enough.
It was a good year, but
so who you got? Whose season moves on?
I think I'm going to pick different from you.
Oh, really?
And I may be.
We know who I'm not picking. So.
I may be silly for picking this one.
You are,
depending on because of what happened last week. But I'm going with Mark. I think Lamar's going to have a big week, and if Lamar has a big week, that's also bad for Braden. Because Braden has the Seattle defense. Not the defenses get crazy numbers unless you're the Cowboys in week 1. But
dude, no, you're falling into the trap, dude. You're falling into the trap.
I think Lamar's going to have a good week,
He's not playing Seattle's defense. He's going to play the Raiders defense. Come on, dude. You got to look deeper than the lineups. He's playing with your eyes. He's tricking you. He's making him think that he's got him. He doesn't. I know Braden. Braden's going to switcheroo a couple of these players last minute. He's playing the Raiders defense.
Oh, I didn't even
versus the New York Giants.
No, you got me.
Versus the New York Giants. The New York Giants that had -8 total passing yards last week. -8.
Yeah, it's probably time. Yeah.
Tommy DeVito is their starting quarterback. Here's another one, Saquon Barkley. Why? Saquon Barkley had the most talent coming into the league. Could have been a top running back of all time. I mean, arguably is one of the most talented, but literally doesn't have the production because he's stuck in New York on a garbage franchise with no future.
He's also got like no ACLs anymore, though, doesn't he?
Dude, put him on the Bills. I don't want him on the Ravens, but put him on somewhere. Put him in Dallas.
Him on the Chiefs.
I don't like the Cowboys. I don't like a lot of these teams, but put him somewhere where he can just make a difference.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'd like to see Saquon out. Personally, I wish the Chiefs would have drafted Jalen Hyatt so that we'd actually have a wide receiver. He'd get the ball thrown his way in Kansas City.
Because that's what the Chiefs need. Another fast wide receiver that can't catch.
That can't catch? He can catch. He can catch.
Yeah. So can Tony.
Catch.
Hardman.
Nah, Kadarius Toney.
And Sky Moore. And Rasheed Rice. And
I kind of like Rasheed Rice. Hang on now.
That you guys have.
Hang on now. I kind of like Rasheed Rice.
Yeah.
I like
when he drops the ball.
Not all the time, but he looks good when he does it. Kadarius looks lost.
Jalen Hyatt is exactly the prototype that you guys would draft.
Either way, this isn't about me. I'm picking Mark.
You're still picking Mark.
I'm still picking Mark. I think Lamar has a big day. What if
Braden plays Will Levis instead of Jordan Love? You still picking Mark?
As somebody who, and we can talk about this here later whenever we get to waiver wire, as somebody who put a bid in on Will Levis, I was personally impressed with him throwing it to DeAndre Hopkins when DeAndre Hopkins was getting away with egregious offensive penalties. It's impressive. Is it sustainable? I don't know.
I'm picking Braden because there's a chance he's playing Kyler Murray there. There's a chance he's playing Will Levis there. He's definitely swapping out the defense. His team was hot last week. They played great. I think Braden, and it'd be mainly because I just don't have faith in Mark. Mark has proven. They've both proven to not win, but I think Braden wins this one.
So you're picking against the guy who has George Pickens right now.
Did you see the Steelers game? We don't want to talk about that. You want to really get me on a rant. This is going to be an hour and a half long podcast. Our offense is terrible, dude. Listen, I've said this the last couple of days in the barbershop. If you're going to have a mediocre to bad team, at least make it fun. And that's where the Steelers are. We're just mediocre. We're not bad. We're mediocre. We're decent. We're going to never have a losing season. We're going to have another season where we go 9-8 or 10-7. Tomlin's going to keep his little streak alive, and we're never going to make any noise because we're just boring. We're boring to watch. Our defense makes more plays than our offense does. Our offense doesn't do anything. Let me tell you something, Dalton. George Pickens would have had a 60-yard touchdown that he would have walked into. He ran a corner route out of the middle, wide open, burnt his corner by 10 yards, 5 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards. I don't even know. Burnt him. Yeah. And literally, Kenny Pickett underthrew him to where he had to stop, try to come back, and the defender just tipped the ball and knocked it out, deflected. He would have walked to the end zone, dude.
Did Kenny Pickett get hurt?
Yes.
He did? Do you know what happened?
Trubisky came in and actually threw the touchdown to Pickens. Pickens didn't have a reception until Trubisky came in.
Yeesh.
It was like 6-12 or something at halftime. Like, it was so bad. The Chiefs this week, right? Hard to watch, right? Hard to watch. Very hard to watch. Imagine if that was every Sunday.
Oh.
That's us. That our offense does what your offense did every single Sunday. The only difference is our defense keeps us in the game. They never let the game get out of reach. And in the fourth quarter, when it is 6-6 or 6-7 or 6-10, we're able to make one or two drives to win us a game. And then we win, and everything's great because we won 14-10 or we won 20-10. But 90% of the time, we don't even score touchdowns. We just kick field goals. I think Pickett maybe has like 2 games that he's thrown more than one touchdown pass. Answer: I don't have much faith in George. I love George Pickens. I have faith in George Pickens. I just don't know who's going to get him the ball. I almost want Trubisky to play.
That's a wild statement.
I like Pickett. Pickett is a good quarterback, but there's nothing that sets him apart. There's no great quality. He's going to be the Ryan Tannehill, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins for his whole career. Give me Michael Penix. Give me Drake May. Give me Shador Sanders. Let's predict some more matchups here. We got to run through these.
Yeah. Who do we got? Me versus Marcos. Let me just get this out of the way. I'm picking Marcos. Yeah.
Yes.
JM Landrum versus J Money. I'm picking J Money.
I am as well.
Big Dub Schutz versus Lucas. I'm picking Lucas. You versus Ty. I'm going to pick you.
You should pick Ty. It's a bad week for me, dude. McCaffrey, Gibbs, and Kittle all on bye week. My Lions defense was also on bye week. I had to drop them, so I'm playing the Giants defense. Now, thankfully, they're playing the Raiders, who are a dumpster fire at the moment. I have to play one of 2 running backs between Roshan Johnson and Deontay Foreman. I don't know which one to play. I have to choose one of 2 Bears running backs.
All right, you've convinced me. I'll pick Ty. I was picking you for the sole fact that I just picked up Bryce Young, and you have Adam Thielen. And so I was like, if Bryce Young does good,
I have a New England Patriot wide receiver in my lineup. How bad is that?
Yeah, no, that's not great. That is
I have Ty Conklin as my tight end. It's a bad week for me. Ty's got an easy matchup against this one. I think Ty rides the ship. Unfortunately, hope I win, but not looking good.
Yeah. Anything can happen. The Cooper Scoopers versus Blake CDs TDs. I think it's a mistake to not pick Blake right now, right?
It is, but
like, he's Blake on a heater.
No, but Blake has the same thing I did. Look at his bench. Goff out, ETN out, Bigsby out, Jerry Jeudy out, Sam Laporta out.
Yeah.
So I think he's still going to be okay. He's playing Jaden Reed, Nico Collins. He doesn't have a tight end yet. He's going to play Hunter Henry, it looks like. If there was a week it could happen, this is the week. I'm going to pick Peyton. Blake's having the same issues I am. That's not even issues. It's a 1-week thing. Yeah. 5 weeks. I think Peyton gets a fortunate, lucky matchup this week, and Peyton wins it.
Yeah. It's that bye week purgatory, man. All right, you want to get into the waivers?
We can go through them real quick. It's not too much that happened.
So the big one was Braden picked up Kyler Murray and dropped Kirk Cousins, who Kirk Cousins' season's over, so got to get rid of him for $50, and he was the only bid on it.
Listen, I don't want to say this because I don't like to say this. I was right. Okay. Braden got his haircut from me yesterday, and he told me he was going after Kyler Murray, and he had a bunch of money on him. I said, dude, why in the world would you put a bunch of money? Because I have to get him. I said, yes, nobody else is going to go after him. Like, nobody else. Like, you don't have to spend that much money. And so I said, there's no way you can put more than $50. He's like, I already have $50. And I was like, okay, well, that's like the max, but I still don't think you have to spend that. Like, I don't think anyone else is going after this guy.
Could have got him for free.
He was convinced that he had to spend $50 on him, and just light it up. Burn.
Could have got him for free, man. Like this is so I had the same kind of thing happen because Braden also secured Will Levis for $21. That one actually had some bids. So Braden put in 21 for Will Levis. To put things into perspective, I was the only other one that bid money, and I put 3 on it.
And Jake got Derek Carr for 3.
Yeah. And Braden went after Derek Carr for nothing. And Jake got Derek Carr for $3. Dude, Braden was. I'm just realizing Braden was active on the waiver wire.
Good kudos to him, though. Even though he's at the bottom, some would say out of it. I wouldn't say that, but some would say out of it.
Yeah.
And he's still fighting. So he's got a tough decision between Kyler Murray, Will Levis, and Jordan Love. Good luck, buddy.
Lucas picked up Leonard Fournette for $2, which I'm a little interested in the Leonard Fournette to the Bills situation because I read that he got signed to their practice squad. Now, if he shows up, he's in football shape and he's actually balling. It's hard to keep a guy like Leonard Fournette on the sideline whenever you have that weapon. But like if he's like he was the last time we saw him really play in Tampa, and he's just kind of fat and not really moving like that.
He ain't a weapon, dog.
You know what I mean? It just seems a little silly. Lucas also dropped Jalen Hyatt to pick up Quentin Johnson, and Ty dropped McCole Hardman to pick up Logan Thomas on the waiver wire.
A lot of bye weeks. A lot of action on the waiver wire.
So our bye weeks for week 9, we've got the Denver Broncos, the Detroit Lions, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the San Francisco 49ers. So if you got guys on any of those teams, be sure to make the adjustment. Yeah, get them out the lineup because it's happened to all of us at some point playing fantasy football that you miss one bye week and you see your guy there and then it's too late. Don't let that happen to you.
And then you're calling saying, Commissioner, can you make commissioner changes for me, please? Adjust my lineup, roster, save me. We find ways. We don't do that.
At the very least, we call and ask for help because we've never used the Sleeper app before and the IR was being weird.
I was like, it won't let me do this. You have to fix it. I'm not cheating, but I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we got to play a little jigsaw puzzle here. You need to move him there. Change his name.
Bro, I felt like I was solving an Indiana Jones puzzle.
But it worked.
It did work. It did work.
Appreciate you. Anything else? We good?
I think we're good. Everybody, good luck in your matchups this week.
Peace out.